Hey, everybody. Welcome back to the MiscELENAeous podcast. I'm your host, Elena. It'd be super weird if I wasn't. And this week, we have a star, a queen, Mrs. America, my favorite from BB26, Brooklyn Rivera. Woo, 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 woo!
Hi.
Yes, the crowd goes wild, as
queen.
they do. Before we get into charcuterie, which we must speak on. I know everyone wants to talk to Brooklyn about charcuterie, and so we'll tap there and then we'll move on. I just have to say, you know, you are my favorite from this season, right?
Thank you.
Do you know why?
Tell me.
Tell
me. I want to know.
This is like a little hack for anybody that's wants to go on Big Brother, gets into the audition process, thinks that they're gonna be on the show. Okay, listen, I have, as we all know, BB PTSD. So I cannot watch the show. I can't give it like my full attention. Julie Chen's voice, Big Brother's voice, I get chills down my spine. But of course I keep up. I have to know what's going on. I have to, the cast is revealed and I'm like, nom, 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 let me at these people. I want to know everything about them. You were the only one from this season that was already following me on Instagram.
Winning.
And I was like, oh my God, I'm rooting for her. She's my favorite. She clearly has good taste. So I think she's our winner.
I'm so glad. I'm so glad that my follow really set the bar high.
Yeah. I
Thank
mean,
you.
I just clearly you liked me, so I had to like you.
I'm an A1 since day one.
Yeah.
And you were one of my faves as well. That's why I followed you. And hello, we're both DFW baddies.
You have to, it's something about that hometown flex. Like, I can't help but cheer on. Like, you made all my dreams come true. You were like my age, you were local, and you're like, and you were the one that liked me. And so I was like, phew, that made my choice so easy.
I'm so sorry that I sucked, though, and went out pre-jury.
You know what?
You know, it wasn't sucking.
It wasn't sucking. You were being iconic.
I was so good that I went out pre-jury.
No, and that they had to get me out on a double because they were so threatened by me.
I know.
They were like, we can't give this girl a week to negotiate, to flip the house.
Because it's a week. It's so long.
Yeah.
In between nominees and renoms, there's just so much time.
Yeah, people don't realize what the actual timeline of the household is when you watch it on TV. What was the most shocking thing for you going into the house?
I think time was one of the most shocking things, how long everything actually takes. So not just the week itself, not just how much time you have to sit and ponder and change your mind and hyperfixate on things that aren't really actually happening. The lack of sleep too. I've said it a lot, but I didn't realize that I just wouldn't sleep for 50 days that I was there.
Yeah.
And it's not just the paranoia. Everything happens past midnight. That's just when
it happens.
Get their second win. You come alive. The conversations start happening. Everyone kind of finds a corner. You're outside. You're in the hammocks. You're inside. You're by the fish. And you don't want to be the first one to fall asleep. And also, Big Brother doesn't care if you're sleeping or not. So it would be 3:30 in the morning and I would hear, Brooklyn, please come to the diary room downstairs. And I'm like, are you kidding me right now?
Oh yeah, you live in a Big Brother house with 2 diary rooms.
Oh yeah.
I'm like vintage Big Brother. We had our one diary room.
No, that's something people don't know. We do have 2 diary rooms. One is the main. The downstairs is the main diary room.
The iconic diary room.
Yeah. The upstairs though, it looks the same. It's just smaller. But that's where you go sometimes when you're in trouble. Or
interesting.
Need something.
Like you would have to put in your request. Did they have a diary room that they wanted you to use for requests?
That was downstairs, but if we really needed something, we went upstairs. If it didn't pertain to production or something like that. And then week 1, there's just a lot of you. There's a lot, and they're needing to talk to a lot of people.
Yeah.
So 2 diary rooms was pretty iconic.
Yeah, that's smart of them, actually, just as far as the production value of the show and like making that work proficiently. Okay, well, we have to get into the charcuterie really quickly because I need you to know that I actually also had a charcuterie moment myself on the show. But it was pre-show, and I think it was actually why I was cast.
Stop. Tell me.
And I've shared this story before, but I don't even think on my podcast, and it's been probably years. But like, do you remember in casting when you're in finals and you're in that just warehouse room waiting for your turn to go interview with the EPs, the executive producers. So you're in a room with all the other potential people that might be on your season. And you can't say a word. And they just give you like bags of Cheetos. But everyone's in full glam. And you have to sit there for like 8 to 9 hours.
Oh, no. Ours was not like that
What?
whatsoever. No, ma'am. Post-COVID?
Oh, wait.
So
yeah, I guess
many
that's true. So you stay sequestered in your
hotel room.
Even on the day of like going to meet with the EPs, like they just take you out individually.
So this is a fun fact. I don't think anyone knows this, so I'm dropping it on your podcast first.
Yes.
My finale or finals interview was very different because I was supposed to fly in. It kind of works. I don't even know if I'm supposed to be saying this, but ask for forgiveness instead of permission.
Mm-hmm.
So I was supposed to fly in and my flight got canceled. I was at the airport and a bird hit our plane and they were like, so sorry, you're not leaving. So I'm on the phone with production, cast management. I'm like, oh my God, I'm literally going to miss my final interview with all the EPs. Like, how is this happening? I'm never going to get casted. Long story short, I flew in around noon the next day. My interviews with them were at 1 p.m. and I flew back out at 5 p.m. that day.
Oh my God,
I was
for finals?
in and out of LAX in less than 5 hours.
That's crazy. And little old me, I had to sit there for 7 days, 5 business days.
It's everything else is done virtually
Oh,
now.
man. I had to come up with so many elaborate lies to get out of work stuff. And like, I also had flight malfunction. So I got to the airport. My flight was delayed like 15 hours or something absurd, but like still the same flight. So I went back to work and went to a party for a work person that night and then left in the middle of the party with my luggage. And but anyway, when we did our finals, when you're meeting with the EPs and it's the last 25 people in your casting, they leave us in this room for hours with everyone else. And we would get our turn to go in for our 15 to 30 minutes with the EPs. And I get into their room and they have the most luxurious, I'm in there for the interview, luxurious charcuterie laid out. The fanciest meats and cheeses, fruits, dried fruits. I'm literally eating stale Fritos and just whatever's left of what I can get from what's been picked over. And I just walked straight over to their table and I was like, this is a crime.
Mine.
And I'm having some of this. You can't treat us this way. It's simply not fair. And y'all aren't even eating this. I went in on them about it. I'm like, how long has this been here? It's been here for hours. It looked untouched. I made myself a plate and I sat down in front of the camera and just started eating their charcuterie. So they have a little something about people stealing charcuterie. They think it's an important storyline. Mm-hmm. And for me, I think it worked out in my favor. I'm going to go ahead and give you a hot take. I think it worked out in your favor too.
I guess so. It is one of 2 of the most popular reels on the Big Brother CBS social media ever. It's pinned. There's one of Tucker and Glitter with Lisa of the season and me and Angela in Charcuterie Gate. And so,
like I said, I don't watch the produced show, but I keep up with it, and I hear about this, and I too like fine cheeses and meats. And I got to the bottom of it. And you weren't the only one eating the charcuterie.
Oh, no. So long story short, again, it was MJ and I, sis was hungry. She's a 22-year-old little baby.
She's still growing.
I need to make sure that my children eat. And she's like, let's make a board. We had a plethora of meat and cheeses in that house because every HOH got a crap ton. And the HOH before Angela that week was Cedric. He didn't like it. So we had all of his. And then Angela happened to be a have-not going out of her HOH. So all of her leftovers she couldn't touch. And the rule in the house was once it hit the main fridge, it was fair game.
Yeah.
That's what we said. That's what the HOHs said. They were like, once we put it in there, anyone can have it. So Angela's sitting at the island in the kitchen and I'm like, I can make a board. I love making boards. And we had olives and all the things. So I start pulling out the meat and cheeses and Angela's sitting there and I was like, can we have this? Are you okay with us eating it? And she was like,
even though it was still in the
Correct.
main fridge. That's extra polite, folks.
So we did ask.
That's an additional layer of politeness.
Yeah, we did ask, and I will give it to her. She did say, gosh, those are my favorite. And she's like, you know what, have it. And I'm like, okay, you don't have to tell me twice. And I start making like a rose out of meat and adding all of the other, items that we had in the house. And then the entire house ate the board. But
you're guilty.
But I'm guilty.
You're
but
the
I'm
only
guilty.
one that's been charged.
When she saw it this weekend at finale, because this past weekend was finale, and so that was the first time all the jurors had seen that footage and realized what a big deal it was. She hugged me during a commercial break, and she was like, I was crying over my family, not over meat and cheese. So, just face value, guys, it's reality TV, and it's all for a bit. And she was like, I really didn't think it was that big of a deal. I was like, oh, no, ma'am. It's a big deal.
America's involved.
People are trying to cancel me over
meats
stealing
and cheeses.
meat and cheese. And she's like, really? And I said, oh, yeah, it's fine. I've got thick skin and I can take a joke. And I was like, so much so I may have made my dog put a wig on and act.
That's one of my
Angela.
favorite reels that you've made. Your dog should be a paid actor, honestly.
I mean, he's been Leah. He's been Angela. Who knows who he's going to be next?
I'm going to pull the curtain back a little bit because we were supposed to actually podcast like a couple weeks ago and there were illnesses involved. And so we rescheduled and I was very frustrated because I was like so excited about I'm like, oh, it's really relevant, But then also I'm kind of glad that we pushed because now you've experienced finale.
Yes.
You went and did the whole thing. Then you did the like post Big Brother experience of just LA madness, the finale party, all the Big Brother dinners, meeting all the other alum and vets and other reality TV show people.
I'm tired.
Yeah, I'm tired watching your Instagram.
I am a mid-30s married mother, as everyone knows. Like 4 days of nonstop Big Brothering is a lot.
And then fans everywhere, which like we love them, but like, when it's a relentless thing of like talking, it kind of depletes you as a person. For me, it's like a little bit of both. Like it fills me up at the same time because I love like interacting with people and like loving on people, but it can still be like when I'm overly social, like relentlessly social, it depletes me so much, no matter like how fulfilling it is. I'm like,
it's a lot.
It's a lot. Like every time I would leave a Big Brother, like Hearts of Reality, like spending time with all these people that I love, like friends and like my Big Brother reality TV family, and like the best fans ever. I'm like, I need a week to recover just because I'm like depleted.
I explain it as my personality gets tired.
Yeah.
Because I really
that's
love
so
it.
Good.
It was so fun. I would do it over and over and over again. I just need a break in between
It's
doing it.
It's honestly my favorite thing ever.
And it was incredible. The feeling that we had walking into the after party after filming the finale, because Pacific time wasn't getting it live, obviously. So we filmed live 6 to 8 p.m. and they didn't start watching it till 9 p.m. So by the time we wrapped and took photos and actually got to the after party, they were watching the voting happening and the pre-jury talking. So Eddie, my husband, came with me. And he actually has a video of us walking into this after party with hundreds and hundreds of fans screaming as my face and I'm talking, and they're showing charcuterie gate on all of the screens. It was iconic.
Wait, is that not on the internet?
Yeah, I haven't shared it.
Oh, you
in
have?
my stories.
Oh, okay.
So
that might need to be a reel.
That might make it a post.
That needs to live on the feed, I think.
It was really a little overwhelming, but at the same time, just like icing on the cake. Everyone was just so excited, hyping us up. It was a little bit of a surreal moment.
Yeah.
I've had some big moments in my life, and I feel like my past experience have prepared me a little bit for the fandom.
Yeah.
Because in my own world, I've had that before, but this was on a whole nother level. And we were in West Hollywood, WeHo, and the vibe there is different. It's not Texas.
It's not Texas.
This ain't Texas.
This ain't Texas. It's honestly crazy. I remember coming, granted, we were fresh off the show, being in LA, obviously, like just days off. But the amount of people in LA that recognized us and that were so excited to meet us, just like out and about in LA, surprised me so much because it's such a famous place with what I like to call real famous people, like, like I said yes to an opportunity. I didn't like get famous from like a talent or skill set that I had. Like I rose to notoriety from
being yourself,
being myself. So I'm like, why are you so excited to meet me? But I think that's the other side of the coin for them is like they're like the people in LA are like all these actors, but like they get so into like reality
the
TV
BB
because it's the actual connecting with the person and not some skill set or like I like that soccer player or that that surprised me so much coming off of it.
They feel very connected to us is what I have learned is the BB fans, because it is the only reality show that is aired 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and you see us at our best, worst, very raw.
And that full access with live feeds.
Yes, they feel like they
And it's
know
so long.
us.
It's such a long show for them to have so much access for such a long time.
Right.
So, okay, you mentioned, your you were a pageant lady. I don't know the proper terminology. Can someone educate me?
Pageant lady.
A pageant. Yes, you were a queen. Like you've been, is
contestant,
that contestant?
Yeah.
Sure.
Delegate.
Contestant. It's the same word as Big Brother, huh? Yeah. Could have used the same word you're telling me.
So
I really love pageant lady.
I think pageant lady is the new thing, actually.
Hashtag pageant lady.
Hashtag pageant lady.
Yes. So certain systems call us certain things.
Okay.
The Miss America system, MAO, calls their contestants delegates.
Ooh, that sounds
it's
fancy.
very formal.
Yeah.
I just
feels political.
Title holder is usually what I go by.
Okay.
I was a state title holder. I was a national title holder. Wow. Yeah.
I've never held a title,
Queen.
not once.
Whatever. You're a podcast queen.
I'm a podcaster, so I hold that title in
Reality
a way.
baddie.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. We workshopped that to
Right.
where I can also be
Queen?
a queen.
You
Yeah.
want a crown?
No, I mean,
should
I
have.
bought my own.
Amazon.
I'm not gonna lie to you. I have a couple at home. I wear it by myself. But yeah, so that's like, what is that comparison? Like you made the reference a little bit, but like I feel like the shock value of like how much the Big Brother fandom is invested may be a big difference because you were already, had notoriety and had fame and had followers and people that looked, to you for a certain thing, but it feels different, doesn't it?
It very much so is different because it's a different niche. So that's how I kind of explain it. And everyone kept on asking my husband this weekend because he is such a great cheerleader of mine. And he was just there with the phone capturing all of the content. He's the one, I think one of our reels from this weekend has like 2 million views. And I'm like, my husband filmed that. And I was like, I should have tagged
Instagram
him.
husband.
But it prepared me in a way because of the fandom that comes with pageantry and being Mrs. America. That's the most prestigious, most sought after pageant system that you can do as a married woman.
Yeah.
And so it has its own fan base. And I competed at Mrs. World. So that was a global pageant where we had people that had entourages and news stations that would follow us around for that 11 days and take photos. And so that part of it really didn't faze me. So the after party where people were coming up and asking for photos.
Yeah,
and
you're
the,
just
the
used
press,
to it.
And that was something that production said to me. They're like, "Oh, you're really good at press." And I was like, I've done
kind of my
this
job
for like 6 years now. So that part of it was really easy for me. What wasn't easy for me was the opinions of the fans. I wasn't used to that. Being in the pageant world, we watch our P's and Q's. Everything is perfect. No one has ever called me mean before. Yeah. So seeing people's point of view on social media when I got out the house and being the character that I guess is now considered the Disney villain of my season, which I'm okay with, was an interesting take. So I think that is the difference in me is I wasn't liked by some.
Yeah.
And you don't get that as Mrs. America. People have their opinions of like what you wear.
Right.
And
she should have done her hair
gown,
differently.
Right. You're scrutinized for the shoe you wore, not for what you said or who you are to your core.
Your character, yeah.
Right. And again, because they think they know us 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, they think they know us. And I'm like, you know a character version of me.
Right.
And a very curated version of me. And I was playing a game of lies, deceit, stealing, chilling, killing, all of the above.
Right.
And so you saw a version of me that's not really real life.
And they can't be pleased. So, like, say you didn't participate in the game, say you didn't play, say you didn't tell a lie,
then
manipulate, whatever, then you're boring, then you're furniture, then
favorite.
Then you're a flop. You shouldn't have been given the opportunity. So like it is an eye-opening experience to realize that there are just like all of these people that are like obsessed with you that you can't please. But they're obsessed with you.
But I have also learned that's just social media. And with social media, the algorithm prioritizes conflict.
Oh, for sure.
So anything,
reality TV prioritizes conflict. Being polarizing is a plus.
Right. And I was a polarizing character, and I didn't expect that going in.
Shout out.
I really didn't expect to be that. I've embraced it, though, and I've poked fun at it. And if you really want to see me at my core, you can follow me now.
Yeah.
And who I was before the show is exactly who I am now. I'm witty, I'm goofy, I'm sassy. I'm a family woman. And that was interesting that people were so perturbed at me being a married mother. I'm like, there's worse things, y'all. Like, people were obsessed with their dog. My best friend Chelsea on the show, her HOH picture was her dog. So was Tucker's.
Yeah.
And I'm like, they didn't get hate for loving their dog, but I got hate for talking
being
about
a
my
good,
kids.
a good, like involved parent.
Man, let me not mention my
But
children.
then again, if you hadn't done that, then you would be canceled
What kind
for
of mother
what kind of
am
mother
I
is
that I
fine with
don't
just
mess
leaving
with
her
you?
kids and
Right.
then she doesn't even miss them. Like you just simply
no winning.
cannot please the people.
No.
And then it all kind of continues on social media afterwards. But I think being in like being a pageant lady, you know,
Pageant. I love that. Pageant lady. That's now what I'm going to call all 200 of my clients right now.
Please.
Hey, pageant ladies.
Hey, pageant ladies. Tell them I said hi. Speaking of social media, though, they have some questions for you.
Let's do it.
Let's get into y'all's questions. Okay. I love that people ask this because as if you were to know. Is Angela a plant on the show?
No, it's not. Nothing is scripted in the Big Brother house unless you are in the DR getting spoon-fed, which,
Headlines.
FYI, never could be me.
Yeah.
Sorry. What I said is what I said, and it wasn't them. And if they told me to say something, I said no.
Yeah.
Because that's not how I feel. So
They tried to get me to say. I will say I probably fell for it a few times. Just when they would wake me up in the middle of the night. I know there was one time I said, "Just tell me what you want me to say." Then, if we're gonna do that, just tell me what you want me to say. What do you want me to say?
Yeah.
And they were like, we can't do that. And I was like, kind of seems like you're trying to just get me to say something, and I'm not saying it, and I'm still in here 45 minutes later when everybody else is asleep. So just what do you want me to say?
I know that's everyone's narrative is that the show is scripted, is pre-decided who's going to win. The comps are rigged. Angela's a plant. No, she's just Angela.
She just happened to also have been on Dr. Phil.
Right. She's great TV, which I was too. I was on Dr. Phil.
Wait, what?
Yeah. We didn't know that?
I don't think I did.
Yeah, her and I were on Dr. Phil. Separate times, separate years, different things. Hers was family drama. Mine was we had stalkers, and Dr. Phil found them.
Oh my
People
God.
hacked into our security system and stuff.
Man,
Wild.
what a Dr. Phil.
He actually, they sought us out and actually helped us. It
That's
was
crazy.
Very random event.
He's all involved in the Metroplex
I know,
around here
he
now.
lives here now. He lives here now.
Dr. Phil. Can we get Dr. Phil on the podcast?
He came to McKinney.
Absolutely.
Oh, I'm sure he would. I mean, what do I know? What do I know?
Well,
What
you
do I
know Dr.
Oh,
Phil.
we're
You're a
friends.
pageant lady that
Pageant
knows
ladies.
Dr. Phil.
I will say his show treated my family very well.
Oh my God.
Like they put us when we went, it was nice.
They
It
took
was
care of you.
nice. Yeah, they took-
Nice.
they took care of us. But yeah, so I have too. But I mean, she's been on Deal or No Deal. I think Price is Right. Or
She just loves
what-
reality TV.
She just is great TV.
Yeah,
Um,
she does have a big personality. It's pretty big,
Big.
based on the clips I've seen.
You know,
But what are they going to put on Big Brother? Somebody with who's
mean,
emotionally mature?
all 16 of us are unwell.
Yeah.
And that is the reason why we were casted on Big
we go through
Brother.
a lot of psychological testing. I wish
And
they
we
just
all
would have
failed.
given me the results like when I went, because I would have saved me a lot of time, a lot of money, a lot of heartbreak these last 5 years, 7 years.
You know, I got a little bit of my results, and some of mine were, do you know, Brooklyn, that you think like a man?
They told me I was a man too.
Yeah, and I said, I know, and that
They said I tested like a man.
a little heartless. And
Oh
I
my
said,
gosh,
well,
same. But I don't think that's true about us.
No, it is true about me.
Damn.
I have a cold heart.
Oh.
A little bit of a cold heart.
I think I have what I think it gets real cold when there's a reason, like if a pretty good reason. But like otherwise, I'm just like,
I don't like
hugs.
emotions, and that was another big eye opener in the Big Brother house. Is very emotional. Everyone touches everyone.
Yeah.
I'm not a hugger and like very intimate with touch, and I became the most touch needed person. Like a hug is my love language now, to just sit and like hold a hand. We're just holding hands right now.
Oh, I'm
for the
so
people
touchy-feely.
listening. It happens in the house. And even this weekend, seeing everyone again, I immediately was like touching, hugging. And then I saw Chelsea and we were sitting on the couch. She probably doesn't even remember this. And I have my hand on her leg the whole time. And Eddie like has a video of it. And it just felt natural again.
It's a weird thing that happens with the big brother people, especially your season, because you don't have any comfort. There's nothing else there to comfort you. Like
else.
I would be like, me and Christmas didn't even work together at all in the house, and like we would like cuddle and love on each other because we realized that we're both tormenting each other. So then later we like need a little break from each other.
The people you don't even quote unquote like in the house, you will hug every morning. When the music starts playing and Big Brother wakes you up, we walked around our house and hugged.
Oh, y'all were a lot nicer than us.
We are. That's what everyone's saying. I mean, some of them, almost all of them, except for myself, Kenny. I think Angela's left now. A few leave today, but we got Airbnbs together, and
just want to keep living together.
Out. We don't know how to disconnect. I talked to Chelsea on FaceTime yesterday. She just FaceTimed me, and we were just talking, and
it's really comforting to like keep that connection alive and like see your cast as much as you can in like the year following the show. But to me, I also got just a lot of comfort from anyone from Big Brother. Maybe not anyone. There's definitely people I don't like. They can fuck right off. But like the people I liked, like, you know, I got a lot of comfort from like talking to them or, you know, being around them.
I'm so grateful for like you and Kat and Jessica here. Having that welcome dinner a week after coming home was the best. And there's quite a few alum that have reached out and just been like, are you okay? And it's okay if you're not okay, and tell me about it, because I'll trauma dump on you too. So again, the fans think they know, and I thought I was ready for the show, and I was ready for the show, but there's certain things that you will never be able to prepare yourself for pre, post, during. And so I'm working on the post right now, and it's a even flow. It's up and down. It's
got to take it day by day.
Relationships at home being a little different and feeling a little different.
There's a lot more aspects to navigate than you realize. I had the same mindset thinking I need to be prepared for this, and this. And none of it ever included preparation for what would happen after the show and what my life would look like. And it's so different for everyone. And the way the post show works out for everyone is different. And so there's really no, you know, you can study somebody's game, a bunch of people's game all the time, and like try to be prepared for, you know, the unexpected. But like what's really the most unexpected is like your unique day-to-day life after the show, and like how your world is completely flipped upside down, and like nothing will ever be the same because you took that chance and you went on the show.
Different than the majority of the cast now and past seasons, because I do have a lot of kids and a husband and a business that was already established beforehand. So I got out of the house and had zero time to decompress or to
you had to get back to work and like get back to parenting.
Started working, and I was at a football game 12 hours after I landed. My son was his first football game, and I happened to be there.
Your daughter compete while you were away, and she's also a pageant lady. So
a little pageant lady.
She
did. So the day I was taken, that's what I call it.
That's what I call it.
So the day I was taken, she was competing for the first time at a national pageant, which she won. So her very first win was without me.
Oh my gosh.
And
I bet that's so many mixed emotions for you.
At 12 years old, and she couldn't tell anybody. So she won and I
Everyone's
left her.
like, where's your mom?
I had other clients competing and I literally disappeared, and my husband was saying it was a family emergency, and they were like, what's wrong with your mom? Where is she? And sweet little girl had to do it by herself, and she pulled it off. So it's a different world for me because I'm here right now, and as much as I wanted to still stay a couple extra days with my cast, that's just not in the cards for me. Not that they don't have a life. I don't want it to sound like that, but
they have more flexibility.
Correct.
Yeah.
And as they should, and they deserve it, and they deserve time to
forget they're
continue.
younger than us.
I know.
Y'all, listen to the most audacious thing that Matt Hardman did to us.
Oh, God. Oh, my gosh.
Let me tell you about the most
My
audacious
son,
thing.
Matt.
Did I say his name right?
Yes.
Great. I wouldn't have been too worried anyways because of the wild offense he committed. We go out to this welcome home Brooklyn dinner, and it's Jess and Cody, Kat and her boyfriend Alex, her and her husband Eddie, and then me and my boyfriend Zach. And obviously we're gonna fucking post about it on the internet, you know.
Yeah.
And Matt comments and he says, "Man, I hope I look this good when I'm older."
When I'm older.
I jumped out of my seat.
Sir?
I said, "Sir, you are the same age as me."
Close.
He's not. I am a decade older than him. I had to do a little research. I had to
25.
do some math outside of my big brother brain because in my mind, I'm still 26. Like
Yeah.
when we're talking big brother, I'm like, yeah, big brother.
You're
I'm
right
26.
back to that age.
I'm like, we're the same age, dude. Because
Yeah.
what is he, like 24-ish or 23 maybe?
25.
25. And I'm like, yeah, I was the same age as you when I went on the show.
I know.
We're
but,
the same age. And I'm like, but it's been 7 years since I've been on the show.
But playing as a 34-year-old, married mother again.
Married mother.
It's different. And luckily this year we had a great age range.
Y'all really
we had
did.
21 to 52. There were 5 of us in our 30s. So Tucker, Joseph, Lisa, Chemo, Rubina, and myself, 6. 6 of us in our 30s, which is crazy.
And then Kenny and Angela.
Kenny and Angela, 50 plus, and then the rest were 21 to 27. So great mix. But yeah, when I'm talking to MJ and she kept on saying, y'all are literally 13 years older than me. I'm like, oh,
you're like,
my God.
MJ,
That's
politely
my
shut the fuck
child.
up.
So I was 21 with a baby.
Yeah.
And they're 21, and Cedric's asked me how many days are in a week.
What? Oh,
Yeah.
he's so
and then
cute
how
and
many
sweet.
weeks are in a year? He's like, aren't there like 103 weeks in a year? And he was joking. He was trying to downplay that he's literally special intelligence in the military. And he told us he was a model. I was like, that boy's not a model. He couldn't pose to save his life. And so we
You're
knew
like,
he
I
was
know
lying.
some stuff about posing.
Yes, we knew he was lying, but I as I'm married to a Marine and a mom to a stepson who is a Marine, I didn't peg that he was a Marine.
Yeah.
Which is crazy. But yeah, it's just the age range.
When you started talking about MySpace and explaining MySpace to them in the house, I about lost
That was
it.
to
I was like,
MJ.
I am so geriatric at home, like having to witness her explaining. I'm like, how do you not know?
Oh, that's what I said. MySpace was Big Brother online.
Online, yeah.
We made a top 8 and literally removed people.
Mm-hmm.
And you would
You're
go
like,
check
sorry,
someone's page
Didn't
and
make
you're
the cut
like,
today.
you're done. Oh, you were number 1. We're now number 12.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I mean, we were cutthroat. That's really probably what like prepared us for Big Brother was like MySpace.
Millennials are a different breed of humans. Like
are.
I told them in the house, you think you can hurt my feelings? My daughter looks me in the face in the morning and goes, that's what you're going to wear today? That's a choice. And I'm like, oh, okay then. I'm like, no,
you felt that in your soul.
I have a teenager. You can't hurt my feelings.
Yeah. How many times did you apply for Big Brother? You were a fan for a while,
4.
right? 4.
Yes.
And I watched again, I'm going to reference her Instagram. If y'all aren't following, you need to be. But she posted a video of like kind of your story of the many times you applied and it working out. And it literally brought me to tears. I got on the first time I tried. And so that like, but I became like my ex that he went 4 times. I had friends now that are my friends who like, you know, it's their biggest dream come true. And I know the disappointment that they would feel every single time that it didn't happen. I just have to say, like, do you feel so grateful and glad that the timing of it happened when it did? Like, I wish I could play with my 34-year-old self. I wish my 34-year-old self could like tackle that game, because like I look back at like 26-year-old Elena and I'm like,
Sweet
we had
girl.
we have a poor little thing. What were you thinking?
It's cliche to say everything happens for a reason and timing, God's timing's perfect, but that is truly wholeheartedly what I believe. I auditioned for the very first time in 2020 before the world shut down. So that year ended up being a wash anyways, because it was All-Stars. 2021 is when I won Mrs. America, so I wasn't able contractually to play. 2022, I don't remember why it was a no. And then this year, I didn't even submit a tape.
Did they reach back out?
It was a reach out. So it just worked. And the people that I played with, and I will toot our own horn, we're a very popular season.
Yeah, I love y'all's cast.
Our cast has been incredible. We broke records this year. We've made history, and I am just thankful that my time was now. And I couldn't imagine, and being a super fan and watching all the seasons and seeing each person. And you're right. 4 years ago, I was a different person, and I didn't have the experiences I have now. And my family dynamic, we could not have done it. Just financially, I paused my business for almost 3 months. And I quit my corporate job. That was a very well-paying career for me. And we just were in a position to where we were able to bet on ourselves a little bit and move some things around and trust God that no matter what, we were going to be okay. And my husband was in a position to where he could truly step up and help at home 100%. And, you know, I'm
crushed
glad.
it.
Oh my God.
I obviously didn't, not also getting made lunches by Eddie in the morning. But when we went to dinner, he was like, you know, we talked about what the life was like for him while, she was away. And I know it was stressful. Obviously, that's an overwhelming thing to take on. But he was like, yeah, we do this. And he was like super dad.
Yeah, he has a therapist too, so he's good.
Oh, wow, an evolved man.
That was one thing. His therapist was like, if we need to meet 2 times a week while she's gone so that you have somebody, everyone needs therapy.
Okay, let's see what other questions we got. And then I have a fun game to play if you don't mind. If you don't mind playing a game with me. I don't know if you're done with competitions, but...
No, let's go. I didn't win freaking anything on Big Brother, so if I can win, I'm ready to play.
Okay, well, let's go through a couple more questions. Would you be open to any other shows in the future, like Amazing Race, Challenge, Survivor, or to play Big Brother again?
You know what? Yes.
Just depends?
Yes. My husband and I would love the opportunity to play Amazing Race. I think we would slay.
I feel like y'all would do great on Amazing Race.
I think so. We're a really good team.
Y'all are.
We're pretty fun. So I think that we would excel at that.
I would watch that. I can watch Amazing Race. I'm not.
I would die on Survivor.
Same.
Absolutely not. Just take my name right out that bucket. That's just a no. And I don't know if the challenge would want me or not. But, never say never to anything except for Survivor. That's just
that's where you get to use your one never.
That is drawing the line there. Just no. But yeah, we're open. I love
watching Survivor.
Let's see what happens.
I would die on it as well, though. What perfume do you wear? They ask because of how many compliments they heard from the other house guests.
I never knew my scent was so good until I went on Big Brother. It is Jimmy Choo. I love Choo.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Jimmy Choo.
I like that.
Or It's Gotta Be Choo. That's what it is. It's Gotta Be Choo by Jimmy Choo. It is the best. And I was the most popular scent in the house.
Yeah. And you do. I mean, that was the first thing said today, too.
I know. We walked in and we're like, it smells good.
Smells good. It's you. Who were you rooting for towards the end of the season as we were getting down to you were just a full.
Hands down. I walked out of the house.
She had a great game. I mean, she played it well.
I walked out of the house during my Julie interview and I said, Chelsea's going to win. Isn't she? She's going to win. I also was a Quinn fan, even though he did me dirty. And we had a conversation during the fandom happening after the finale, and he teared up. And he's just the sweetest soul in the world. But I was always rooting for my girl, Chelsea. She was my BB bestie. She still is. I'm so proud of her. She had a flawless diamond game.
Yeah, she really did. I mean, again, I didn't watch, but I keep up, and like I hear she did great.
Right.
She did well.
Yeah.
And if MJ would have won against Cam.
Absolutely. And she knows that. And
do you think she knew that in the moment of making that decision, taking Chelsea?
She didn't know that it was going to be a unanimous vote. I'll say that. And she spoke for herself. And I feel my heart goes out to her.
Yeah.
And it's hard out here in the streets and people have a lot of opinions, but she should be nothing but proud of herself.
Totally.
I'm so proud of her. I know that this is just the beginning for her in her career and whatever she wants to make it. Sis is 22. She's a successful,
brand new baby.
young, intelligent woman in the construction industry, and she's a badass. And so I'm proud of her. I know she's proud of herself. That was probably a big pill to swallow on that stage, and I could see it on her face, and I just wanted to hug her. I'm very, very protective, and so that was my heart all finale night. Is I just was in hyper protective mode of the house guests that were just getting out.
Yeah.
And I was trying to find them in the crowd, and it's just very overwhelming in the best way, but very overwhelming. And some were doing better than others, and I could see it on some of their faces. I was like, you're not okay.
Yeah,
And I was like, do we need
starting to drown?
Do we need a car? Do you need water? Do you need to step to the bathroom? And so I could see it, and she was sad, but I hope that as she has time to compress, and I know her and Chelsea have had conversations, and that's for them to chat about, but I can't imagine. That was probably very tough. But Chelsea was going to win against either one of them. She was going to win probably against anyone in the final 5, 6, or 7.
Yeah, I believe that.
She was going to win. So once she hit that, it was going to be her game as long as she made it to that final 2 chair.
As long as she stayed in the house, yeah. That's crazy. Let's see if there's anything else. Oh, this is a good one. We'll end it on this. How do you feel about your Wiki Feet rating?
I have a Wiki Feet rating?
You do. And I did some research if you'd like to know some of your analytics, your statistics, and whatnot.
Wow. Oh, man. Tell me. This is new information.
Yeah. So you've got 4 out of 5 stars. That's great. 19 people have voted that you have beautiful feet. 11 have voted nice. 13 said okay.
Okay.
So, I mean, that's pretty good.
Wow.
275 photos available for perusing.
Shut your mouth.
And I think that's something to be proud of. And what do you think about that? What do you think about your Wiki Feet rating?
My feet are my least favorite attribute of mine. I'm 5'6" and like $125, but I have large feet. So I have a size 9.
Isn't it funny that now it's something that you were insecure about, like the world is loving.
They were pedicured at least as best to the ability of the Big Brother house. I mean, I had the same gel pedicure for 50 days. But I have a tattoo on each foot that I don't love.
Little character. Maybe the people love that.
You know, my stubby little toes. I'm so glad that they have a 4-star rating.
Yeah, they're making waves in America.
I'll take it. Eddie's probably like, hell no, because he's like, those feet. I'm a gymnast and a dancer. And so, dancer feet aren't the best. But
yeah, we have another dancer in the studio, so she can probably attest to that.
I can pick things up with my toes.
I can too. I honestly am surprised how well I've done in the foot community and Wiki Feet world. I do have one weird toe. One's pretty long, and I mean, I would say they do tricks. Like I can accomplish tasks.
Win any money, so that might be a plan B for me.
Let's play this game. This has Well, either that person,
not that one.
Either that person's out or they got picked. So this has a bunch of past iconic Big Brother players on it. And or just Big Brother players. Maybe they're not iconic. And we're going to play MiscELENAeous Big Brother. So you have to draw 3 and 3 random ones. And then you have to assign 1 as your final 2, 1 as your evict. You're on the block eviction, and 1 as a have not.
So it's like a marry, evict, kill almost.
Yeah.
That's what we did in the house. We did a marry, evict, kill, I think. No, we didn't kill. Yeah, we kissed them instead of
killed them and evicted them.
So I've got...
And then I'm going to grab 3 too. Just, for funsies. Okay,
let's flip them over.
Yeah, let's reveal your who you're playing with?
Oh my God.
Wow.
I got the Janelle.
Queen.
Slay Queen. BB 6, 7, 14, and 22. Damn.
Yeah.
Couldn't be me.
Iconic.
They're like, yeah, it couldn't be you because they would not. She was good. Okay.
You were great.
Steve Moses. Okay. BB 17. I watched that one as I did my hot girl walks as I was preparing to leave for the Big Brother house. That was a season I rewatched. And BB 16, Caleb. All right. What am I doing with them?
You have a final two. You have a have not, and you have to evict one.
Okay. I'm Caleb's a have not.
Okay. Sorry about you, Caleb.
Sorry. I'm evicting Janelle.
Smart.
Ain't no way. I'm not taking her to final two and being a MJ and losing. Absolutely not. Steve's my final two because I would beat Steve 100%.
Nice.
I would destroy him in a final two speech.
In speeches. Yeah.
That was the one thing me and Chelsea said was we really hoped both of us made it to the final two because could you imagine?
Y'all speeches.
We would have went toe for toe, no pun intended, on the feet finders on that speech. I almost want to take all of the questions that they gave MJ and say, if I was MJ that played her game,
this is how
here's
I would have answered
how
it.
Brooklyn would have answered in Brooklyn's words, though.
Interesting.
Eventually, after it settles, I don't want her to be mad at me because it's not a dig. I just would want her to know how to explain her game better.
And I think that's interesting too, like in your line of work of like coaching other pageant ladies, you know, like there you have to, that's probably part of based on what I've learned from like movies and television shows about the pageant world, that's part of it is being able to like really articulate and communicate something well.
I teach people how to persuade a panel of judges to vote them as the best person on stage. So that is what you essentially do as a pageant coach is you coach women to use the right words to properly explain and elaborate and explore the opportunities of how great of a person they are.
Really, if people were smart, they should just like future hopefuls, Big Brother hopefuls, just take your pageant classes.
Just hire me as a coach so I can. It did help me it helped me and hurt me in the audition process because I am so used to answering everything to a T and very perfect, quote unquote,
and they're like
proper.
Give some personality.
Yeah, Jesse was like, could you just F it up,
let loose a little bit?
Could you drop a bomb? Could you this? And I'm like, oh my God,
you're like, oh goodness.
And he's like, don't sit up straight, like lean into him. And so yes, but to my defense, I knew exactly how to describe myself.
Yeah,
I knew what words
how to brand
use,
yourself.
The branding there, the wording, talking in sound bites. So the DR really liked me. Or I'm just gonna say, I met some of them this weekend. So they did. They were like, you knew how to give us exactly what we needed because I know how to talk in 30-second little blurbs, and that's what a pageant girl does. So
and that's the Big Brother. You know, if you want, honestly, that's a big part of Big Brother is being the narrator of the show.
You are.
We're telling the story.
Work overtime.
Okay, let's see who I'm playing with.
You got? Ooh.
Okay, interesting. I've got Ramses from season 19 of Big Brother, my season. I've got Enzo from season 12 and 22, and Jose from BB 18. That's an interesting setup for me.
Wow.
Admittedly, I was not a huge fan of Jose or Enzo watching them originally. Me and Jose have become pals now, though. And then I think I liked Enzo in All Stars more than I did in 12.
I did too.
Ramses is my final two because he was my final two since day one in my house. Yes.
Like a real final two?
Yeah, but he didn't make it very far, and then I didn't make it very far. So our final two didn't. It expired.
You made it to the double. That's something to be proud of.
Yeah.
And then they got your ass.
Then they got my ass. They were too threatened. I'm going to evict Enzo and then make Jose a have not.
Yeah, I like that.
I feel good about that.
I co-sign on that.
Thank you. Okay, so on the MiscELENAeous podcast, we do a little weekly mishap. Usually.
Okay.
So do you happen to have like a big brother related mishap, something that you just like a regret, a little oopsie doopsie, a little embarrassing moment maybe?
I've got one. I might actually regret saying this though.
Oh, perfect. These are my favorites.
This is great. So why not share it with the world? So, when the cast comes to film your opening scene, when you're getting your key, and so I have production
your
there.
hometown,
your hometown
footage,
the scene 1, episode 1. So they're all there. We'd been filming all day long, and now this is filming late June. And it is 110, 115 degrees in Texas. And one of the last scenes was they wanted me to jump on the trampoline with my kids. And I have the 3 little kiddos at home. I'm in a workout set, like a hot pink sports bra and stuff. I'm like, yeah, like I can tumble still. I can throw a back tuck. And I was like, how cool will that be? Forgetting that I am a married mother that has birthed all of those 3 children that I was jumping with. So we start jumping and I pee. I tinkle. There's some tinklage happening. And
that's not very pageant lady of you.
Luckily, it's hot. And so we're sweating and I am like already dripping sweat. Now I'm dripping pee. And I just, I throw a back tuck or 2 and I'm like, okay, we're done.
We did it.
And it was, thank God, the last scene of the day. But I may or may not have peed on the trampoline as I was jumping, filming my opening scene.
You just peed yourself on TV.
A little misfit. Misfit.
A misfit that had a mishap.
Oh, God.
That's so good, though.
Happens.
Thank you so much for doing that so that you can tell it on my podcast.
PSA, you might pee a little after having children if you decide to jump on a trampoline.
Thanks for sharing that mishap. That was really beautiful.
You're welcome.
Heard it here first on the MiscELENAeous podcast, by the way. Where can everyone follow along? What do we have in store that we can stay tuned for? And then where do we follow you?
You can follow me at Mrs. MRS Brooklyn Rivera. That's my handle on almost everything. I'm very active on Instagram. That's where the fun feeds are. Twitter is new to me, but I dabble there. It's just mostly to see all the psychos. And TikTok. So that's where you can find me socially. I have my own website, which is mrsbrooklynrivera.com. That's where you can find coaching. And yes, I do help just interview prep and life skills. So it's not just pageantry, but that's majority what I do. Coming up, let's see.
Excited to find out.
Yeah, excited to find out. May or may not be dabbling in the charcuterie business world.
Oh my God.
I'm so serious.
Please, that's so iconic.
I am a businesswoman at heart. I worked in a business coaching firm. I don't play around.
And you can make a rose out of salami. Like, let's put this to good use.
A brand is a brand, let me tell you. So, but in seriousness, I have a couple keynote speeches coming up. That's what I do. I love public speaking. I love pouring into other people and talking about just myself, obviously, but also just life experiences and how to better yourself. So that's a little bit of what's next. The holidays, I want to hang out with my friends, my BB friends. So I'm excited to just get to know them in the real world and do a little of this. Talk to people about life.
Yeah, I love it. Well, I'm so glad that Big Brother finally got it together and put you on our television so that we can become friends and I could force you into my life and onto my podcast.
I love it.
So all of y'all, please make sure you're following Brooklyn. Make sure you're following me on Instagram at Elena Davies at MiscELENAeous Podcast. Buy some merch, leave a review, tell your friends about the podcast, and stay the fuck tuned, and we'll see you next Tuesday.